Alright, we better be careful this next boss. I'm pretty sure Block-man is a lot more refined than old Rock-man. Anyway, it's Block-man. He's voiced by Mark Swint. He's made of blocks. Oddly enough, though, no Yoku blocks this stage. Who would have guessed? Alright, so here we have an example of the kind of things blocks can do. They can build great civilizations, and also crush your head and send you careening into a pit. They can be your angel or your devil. So, Block-man stage isn't one of my favorites, and I feel like you'll probably be able to tell that overall. That being said, I don't hate it, and I actually do think it's pretty cool to a certain extent. I think it shows off a lot of things that you couldn't really do in the 8-bit Mega Man games, or at the very least, they look a bit different and feel a bit different. Though that being said, conveyor belts aren't one of those. We've seen plenty of conveyor belts. But that's not a block, though. I see Block-man has betrayed his ways. I mean, I guess to be fair, the tools aren't blocks either, but they do block attacks. You could make a case for these guys. They guard, that's blocking. Speed gear is good for these guys, but so is any weapon that can somehow pierce their armor, such as blowing them up, or Ice Tornado. Anyway, though, yeah, so it's one of these levels where we just have a whole lot of ceiling obstacles, and a mini-boss that I don't particularly care for. Mainly because it's pretty simple, but it's got a lot of iframes. Not as many as some other mini-bosses, but I feel like a lot of the mini-bosses in this game just have a lot of iframes, so that kind of just makes it so you only really want to use speed gear. I mean, power gear can do some extra damage, but what if the enemy moved slower and you had more time to react to it? That just means you hit it more. Simple enough. Okay, I swear this stage does cool things. But yeah, it is just a whole lot of blocks falling on conveyor belts. Okay, anyway, this is what I was talking about. We've got just a section where there's a big wall that will crush us to death if we hit it. So we just have to move through particular shapes in order to escape an untimely death. You know how it is sometimes. But yeah, that... I could almost see that being a gimmick in an older Mega Man game, but it wouldn't look or play quite as good, I don't think. This, however, could be in an older Mega Man game, except they don't usually go as vertical, and definitely not quite like this. Definitely not blocks falling from like 2 screens up. Alright, ooh, I do love this background though. This one looks really good. I mean, look, if there's anything good about this stage, it's the aesthetics, but that shouldn't be a surprise at this point. This game looks real good. In case you didn't pick up on that, it looks real pretty. And I like a good sunset. That being said though, yeah, this is basically just the gimmick a whole lot. Oh, and now we have the same mini-boss, but there's a conveyor belt this time, making it a lot more annoying. Again, speed gear is your friend. It lets you hit a lot easier, time things out better, and it makes it so it's a little easier to deal with a conveyor belt, at least. Not perfect, but better. Oh boy, but that difference in being conveyed constantly is very apparent. Oh, speed gear takes care of these guys real easy. That was just a free life you gave me there. And a whole lot of these guys, too. Oh, well, that was just a dumb hit. So like I said, not the biggest fan of this stage, and it shows at times. I get a little bit sloppy. A lot of bit sloppy. And oh, hey, it's another one of these. This is undoubtedly my favorite part of the stage. Ooh, 2 of them. Yeah, I just really like this whole setup here. and I think it's it both shows off a gimmick that you might not see in other Mega Man games, but also just, it's very useful to show off speed gear, which, I guess to be fair, the game shows speed gear off a lot as it is. Between the two gears of this game, speed gear is absolutely the standout. Power gear just gives you better shots, which is fine. But speed gear is just infinitely more interesting and does, cool platforming segments like that. I think that's actually just a really fun segment. And again, that is because you have the ability to just say, hey, speed gear helps here. And then you can have speed gear help you. Just a nice bit of game design. Dang, just imagine that. Mega Man games with actual mechanics other than just jumping and sliding. Or, jumping and shooting for Mega Man 9 and 10. I am glad they stopped removing those two for no reason. We're almost to the X series, which means that's just a mainstay. Won't have to worry about losing mechanics again. For the most part. Anyway, though, now we've got a beautiful night sky that we won't see because the boss is indoors, not outdoors.
Never thought you'd make it this far. I'll drop you like a ton of bricks.
He sounds genuinely surprised, and then real pissed, and god... Okay, yeah, a lot of it sloppy, I'm sorry. So yeah, that being said, Block-man's a very tough boss, because halfway through his hell, he just does this. He just becomes a different boss entirely, and not one you would usually see in a Mega Man game. He's just full of surprises. So yeah, I wouldn't even say this is the hardest part of the fight, though that being said, you really do need to pay more attention to where he hits. The big thing about this mini-boss is he does take up most of the screen, so you don't have a lot of room to move around. Though that being said, I would suggest dodging closer to him, not farther away. And yeah, like I said, I got very sloppy. I had to use an E-tank during the fight. Shame. It's just Block-man that drives me to this, though. He's just very strong. Anyway, this is the hard part of the fight. So now that we've defeated his Titan form, Block-man freaks the fuck out and just throws blocks at you constantly. I tried to do power gear to see if that would help to shoot through blocks. No, it doesn't. Use speed gear to slow things down so you can actually get shots in. Yeah, I actually mostly use the E-tank because this part of the fight is actually difficult. He goes by cornered rat principle. He's actually very strong when he's freaking out and just throwing shit at you, because he doesn't stop. He just keeps going, and a lot of your shots get absorbed by either your face or your shots, so yeah, at the end I just kind of raced it. I'll try to do better for the boss refight, I'm sorry. Anyway, Block Dropper. Block Dropper is very simple, but very strong. You just drop blocks on people. You just drop bricks on the enemy. It's very good. As always, simple weapons wind up being very good, so I don't mind it being simple. You know what's really good, however? The speed gear booster. So yes, this ability, which I think you get after using speed gear a certain number of times, just lets you move at normal speed when using speed gear. There's no question about it. I'm taking that and equipping it. The bigger buster is also pretty useful and would have been great for this boss. But speed gear, though. Speed gear boost is amazing. Anyway, though, we'll see that in action next time. For now, though, we knocked a boss's block off, so we can go home happy until next time. Well, happy-ish. God, that was sloppy, though.